What's our warm up here? Do we do what do we do? Do we do a rah rah cheer or something?
Seriously.
No.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah.
2024.
Right on. So today I'm joined by Erich Meltvedt. He is the founder of Integrity Media. Erich and I got together in 2022 and talked about video for business. And he thought it was a year ago. It was actually 2 years ago.
Time flies.
So Erich, in addition to being the founder of Integrity Media, which is a video production company for small and large businesses, Fortune 500 businesses, is also an award-winning documentarian. What was one of those documentaries that you did, Erich?
Living with the Odds. It's about a guy that basically was diagnosed with brain cancer, and we followed his last days basically, and how he wanted to live longer, live each day to the fullest, and interviewed the top doctors, physicians, trainers, coaches, therapists, and how to do that, even got into the spiritual side as well.
Yeah.
So, it was a huge hit all over the world. I still get calls from universities around the world asking to see it for the nurses and doctors. Actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll give you a link to watch the preview. And if you want, we can give you a special link to review it.
Oh.
It hasn't officially been out yet.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is the documentary that you've done. I know you've done some other ones as well. You do a lot of video work. You and I have worked together quite a bit with clients. We've worked with a roofing company. We've worked with a startup that in the hearing industry. And then we've also worked with
Pet grooming.
There you go. One of my biggest clients.
Of Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so today, again, we want to catch up on 2024. Why is video so important for business? So I've got a couple questions I want to walk you through here. You know, this is kind of you're on the hot seat today, Erich. So
get into it.
So what's changed with respect to video for business since we last spoke? That was a couple years ago, or what's accelerated?
2 years ago, we talked about how important it is to get into video because it is starting to grow rapidly. 85% of all consumer buys are technically, or product buys are technically through their iPhone or through a mobile device, essentially.
Okay.
Since then, all it's done is that it's increased. People are watching more and more videos. It's accelerating. I don't think there's a stop to it.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah. The two things that I see big time is TikTok, I mean, which is just this almost, scary phenomenon, right?
You're right.
And YouTube. And what I've seen in the stats, and we'll get into some of that later, is that the YouTube viewing has just skyrocketed in addition to TikTok. So they each have their kind of own form of video. I'll tell you a little funny story about TikTok. We recently took a trip to Europe. I don't know if I told you this story.
No.
And my daughter, my adult daughter, well, seemingly adult, was making TikTok videos. She's been making TikTok videos. And we were in Italy and we were driving. I parked in this really tricky spot and I started going down the road and I realized I was going down the wrong way. Well, there's some yahoo coming up the right way right on my bumper as I'm backing up. So I put it in reverse. I turn around. We're driving one of those BMW X3 brand new, with all the bells and whistles, literally. So I pop it in reverse. I turn around. Grace is holding her phone here. And I say, do not record this. And then I'm backing up. And then all these, everything's beep, beep, beep. And then we finally get out of that. And then she shows me kind of like, when we casually pulling away and these people are standing there staring at us and I'm like, oh, okay, ciao. And she posted that on TikTok.
Grazie.
Yeah. 4 million views.
That's insane.
And 500,000 likes.
Yeah.
It had, people could relate to it.
People can connect.
It was relatable. Right. We were looking at the comments and they were funny. Oh, that's my dad. Or we had the same experience with a car. It's like, renting a car in some place that you don't know, right? That's the whole theme. But anyway, so that TikTok is killing it. YouTube is, over the top. I personally watch YouTube videos. I watch it on my TV. I probably watch just as much time on YouTube now that I used to watch just regular TV, which I don't watch nearly as much.
I think most people are finding themselves watching YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram more often than they're watching any type of broadcast.
Yeah.
And that's why you see so many commercials on there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, even for the littlest, like somebody may have just posted a video of them, their family dinner, and you still get an ad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I might pray to that. I was telling you earlier, I see this ad of how this hamburger is being made in slow motion.
This pesto burger.
And it was like, it was a pesto burger.
Yeah.
And it was like from this hamburger place down our street. I'm like, I'm going there.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out to be as good as it looked.
Yeah. So video,
they work.
I think we've established that video is, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's, it's just ubiquitous at this point. I think you made a good point. We were talking about this earlier as well. Like why video works. It's because you said we buy from people. We don't buy from corporations. Mm. And with video, you're actually relating to, if it's done right, you're relating to a person. You're getting into the story, right?
Right. You're connecting with that story, for instance. I think I was telling you about if you're looking for an auto part, for instance, your starter just went on your car. You need a new battery.
Sure.
There's a ton of companies making batteries out there, for instance. Yeah. But if I scroll through there and I find out a company that, for instance, has a video and they say, we're family owned, we've been making batteries since 1806.
Yeah.
I feel a connection already.
Sure.
Smaller business. I have a family owned business.
Yeah.
I would probably buy from them.
Okay.
And that's what the story I think a lot of people should be telling.
Yeah.
Tell your story as simple as that. You gave a great example to me last week about the roofing company.
Okay.
Tell me about that again.
Oh,
how that roofing company got started.
We have a client.
Simple, but
great. They have a great story. And Chris Goldman, our marketing messaging guy, developed this, kind of pulled it out of the client, company called Blue and Blue Roofing. And they were talking about how they got started. And it turned out that the owner of the company, Mark Blue, his grandmother needed a new roof. And he had some experience doing roofs. He was like in his 20s, I think. And so he did her roof at her place. And it turned out all the neighbors needed roofs too. And so a company was born. And it was, so their tagline is, if it's good enough for grandma, it's good enough for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's the cool thing about that is I remember that story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that story about Blue and Blue Roofing and, grandma's roof kind of, begs the question, does every business have a story? Eric, what do you think?
Good question. We always say that everyone has a story to tell.
Okay.
You got a story. I've got a story.
Mm-hmm.
You got a story how you built your business. Everyone has a story. Most people might think, well, what I did is I just opened this business up from one day to the next. No, there's a story behind that. But when you tell your story, you want to make it relatable.
Yeah.
You want to make it interesting.
Yeah.
You want to make it to where consumers can connect with you.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
I can go on and on and on, but basically make it interesting. Make it relevant to your product or service.
So let me ask you this, just off the top. How many stories do you think you've videoed since you started doing business videos?
Hundreds. Literally, I know it sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but it probably has been at least over, in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. So you've got an eye for story.
I got an eye for story.
A lot of works.
Yeah. And that's one of my talents is I can sit down with you and identify your strengths and weaknesses on your story, on a story, for instance.
Right.
And give you a good vision of how we can drive that story for your product or service.
Cool. Obviously, the next question is, Eric, how do I get started? What do I need as a business? What do you recommend?
I recommend you giving Peter a call today.
Of course.
Seriously.
But what am I going to, what should I do as a business owner? What should I be looking for?
You want to sit down, develop a strategy on how you're going to tell your story and who that story is to. Who is your customer? Who are we going to tell this story to?
Mm-hmm.
That's the very first step. And once you identify that, then it just gets easier and easier.
Mm-hmm.
You can start to develop whether or not you're going to do social media ads. You're going to do 15. You're going to have someone in the office actually be in the story.
Yeah.
Do you need to hire actors? I mean, it all comes down to just kind of building off of what you initially started.
Do scripted, unscripted, all that sort of thing.
It's easy. It's really easy to get to start right away. I told you earlier, you can have someone grab an iPhone, start telling your story, get testimonials from your clients, have them do a Zoom call with you and get a testimonial.
Right.
And then if you want, send it to us. We'll cut it up and add a lot of B-roll to it, make it interesting, but make it interesting.
So what is B-roll?
B-roll is if you're telling me how you got started in this business, I might show B-roll of
the customer,
talking to a customer, shaking hands, developing that strategy that you're so good at.
So B-roll is like if we were having B-roll associated with this shot here, it would be something. You would hear our voices in the background, but then you would be showing something else. So that's B-roll.
Right.
The actual video that you should start with, I think we've agreed that the brand video, which is a 60-second piece that you can put on your website, put on YouTube, put on socials, is kind of the basic table stakes. It's kind of where you get started, right?
You really should. If you have a website, that is your first brick and mortar. It's the very first impression that you have. You have 8 seconds. Remember we talked about this in 2022?
Yeah.
It's probably now down to 6 seconds to capture somebody on your website. But if you got a video there,
they see a video.
They're going to probably end up,
it's going to play.
It's already going to be playing.
Right.
It could be just a bunch of B-roll shots of your company playing squash, for instance, or pickleball.
Right. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to Molly, my wife, about, she works at her brother's dental practice. There's a video that was created a long time ago, and it includes Dr. Kuntz. And she said, people come in every day. Oh, I saw the video of Dr. Kuntz, you know, it even today, and it was, it was done well, but it still has a lasting impression on people because they related to the doctor.
Yeah.
So they're buying from a person. They're not buying from a company. They're actually seeing a story that they can relate to, and it triggers something.
It does. You're absolutely right.
So you've got brand video is kind of the basic table stakes of where to get started. So one thing that we've been thinking about as our companies, Erich is our trusted video partner for all things video at Biz Marketing. We would like to put out an offer for 2024 for the first 3 businesses that contact us about creating a brand video. So you want to tell folks kind of what we're thinking here, Erich?
Yeah, no, we believe in this so much. We believe in video so much, and the statistics do not lie. It is going through the roof. And YouTube's a great example of that because they just keep shoving it down our throats, right? But the offer is basically create a story, a brand story of your company. Come in one day, shoot for one day, and out of that also give you 5 social media videos that you can use on a social media platform to advertise your company. We'll do this for $3,500.
Whoa.
$3,500. I know it sounds crazy. Normally we look at this stuff for unless it's $6,000 to $15,000 a day. We're still going to shoot it at $25,000, $50,000 type quality. I mean, it's going to be, it'll be broadcast quality.
Yeah.
But we want you to become a long-term client.
Right.
With us and Biz Marketing,
right.
Obviously.
And part of that offer also is, as you know, if you've watched our channel or you've listened to our podcast, we're huge proponents of the one-page marketing plan by Alan Dibb. My team and I are certified coaches for the one-page marketing plan. And in the book of the 9 stages, there are several phases that actually can use video. So what we're offering is a one-page marketing plan audit of your marketing. So we will use that, sit down with you and interview you about different steps of your marketing plan that you currently have in place. And maybe you don't have a marketing plan in place, but you're still doing marketing. If you're in business and have been in business for more than a year, you've definitely done some marketing. You just might not know it. We'll sit down with you and interview you and get an understanding of where you are with the one-page marketing plan and actually offer you some advice and feedback as a consultant to figure out where you can do marketing even better. And then if you want, of course, you could hire us to do additional work, but the audit is something that we're including. It's not free. We normally charge businesses $1,500 to connect that audit. So we're going to include that in this. So the first 3 companies that contact us, $3,500, you're going to get a lot for $3,500.
Yes.
You're going to get a brand video, and you're going to get 5 pieces of content that you can put on social media, like 5 videos. What is not to like about this? It's like, I think here's the thing. We got to get people to try it, right?
Right.
And that reminds me of one of my favorite books, Green Eggs and Ham.
I love green eggs and ham. Thank you.
I'm sure you did.
Said.
So I do have to tell you the story about green eggs and ham. There was, I learned this lesson early in my career. I was talking to a friend of mine about getting car dealers to get websites.
Okay.
And, we were talking about, well, they don't even know what a website is. And we just got to get them to try it. And my friend, Jeff Husey, he says, well, that's the classic green eggs and ham close. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, green eggs and ham. Would you eat them in a box? Would you eat them with a fox? No. I don't want to try it. No. And then eventually, he tries it and it's like, wow, I really like it.
I love green eggs and ham.
So it's, this is a classic green eggs and ham situation here, folks. So we're looking for the first 3 businesses that want to really step up their video game in 2024. Again, it's $3,500. You're going to get the brand video. You're going to get the 5 pieces of social media videos as well. And you're going to get a one-page marketing plan audit conducted by my company as well. So go ahead and do it. I mean, what do you got to lose? It's 2024. You've got 2 marketing experts here who are really willing to help you grow your business and show you, how to make the most of video and your marketing opportunities. So, I mean, maybe I'll sign up for it too.
Let's go. Let's go. We did one for you last year. Let's do another one.
Okay.
We're going to do testimonials actually for you.
I don't
so
think I paid
I'm
you
excited
for it
about
yet,
that.
so.
Yeah, it's okay. You paid me back in many ways.
All right. So let's wrap it up. Erich, thanks again for this enlightening conversation. And again, let's not make it 2 years.
No.
Let's try to get together a little sooner than that.
Absolutely. No, it's been fantastic. Thank you for having me on board. And I look forward to another great year making video for you and your clients.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Biz and Life Done Well with Peter Wilson. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and most of the other popular podcast platforms. Please tell your friends about us and leave us a review so even more people will find out about us. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.